Hello, class. Today we are going to learn how to graph linear equations and functions using our two forms that we learned the other day, starting with slope-intercept form and point-slope form. So let's get started. If you want to graph the solutions of a linear equation of a line, you need either 2 points on the line or you need a point and a slope. As long as you have 1 point and a slope, you can then graph any other point on the line using the slope. So how do we get those two things from the two different forms that we mentioned the other day? Well, our first is in slope-intercept form, and we have to remember that the name is very important for a reason. It allows us to find the slope and the y-intercept. So using slope-intercept form, that's what we're going to pull. So the first thing we'll need is the point, and then we'll get the slope. Recall that in slope-intercept form, f of x equals mx plus b, that b is the y value of the y-intercept. So that means that -9 is going to be the y-coordinate of the y-intercept. So our point will be 0, -9. Our slope is represented by the letter m. So our slope will be 5. Remember that slope is always written as a rise over run, so it might be helpful for us to write the slope as 5 over 1 to let us know that we can go up or down 5 or left or right 1. In this case, we look positive, so up 5 and right 1. Then from there, we would graph the line. Our second form is point-slope form. So remember, in point-slope form, we're given any point on the line and then the slope of the line. So in point-slope form, we are given an x and y coordinate to be our point. Recall that in point-slope form, we have y minus y1 and x minus x1. If you substitute the values of the ordered pair into point-slope form, if they come after that minus sign, that changes the sign of the point when it's inside the equation. So we have to keep in mind that when we pull the ordered pair outside of the equation, that we need to use the opposite sign that is shown. So if I have a -4 for the x value of my point, I'm going to use a +4. And for the y value, I have a -5 in the equation, which means that in my ordered pair, this will be a +5. This is the hardest part to remember about point-slope form. We always need to use the opposite value from what's indicated in the actual equation. The slope is going to be the m, which in our equation is 2. So again, we can write that as 2 over 1, which would tell us we would go up 2 and right 1 from our beginning point. So let's practice graphing some lines. First, this equation, number 1, is in slope-intercept form. That means that our beginning point is going to be our y-intercept of 0, 6. Our slope will be -3 over 2. Notice how the negative was just in front in neutral territory between the 3 and the 2, but I chose to write the 3 on top because a negative sign either goes with the top or the bottom, but never both. So I usually put it with the numerator. So we start by graphing our y-intercept, 0, 6. From that point, I follow my slope. Since my 3 is negative, I'll be going down 3, and then my 2 is positive, so right 2. So I count from my y-intercept down 1, 2, 3, right 1, 2. Again, down 1, 2, 3, right 2. 1, 2, 3, right 2. 1, 2, 3, right 2. And I continue this pattern across the whole coordinate plane. Notice that from the y-intercept, I can also go up 3 and left 2, which also represent that negative slope. We connect our points to form the line. So that's how we graph an equation that's in slope-intercept form. Next, we're going to graph an equation that's in point-slope form. So first we need to get the point from the equation. So the x-coordinate will be opposite of positive 7, so that will be negative 7, and the opposite of positive 2, which will be negative 2. My slope is 1 over 5. Both positive numbers, so that means we'll be going up 1 and then right 5 from my starting point. So I start by graphing my point at negative 7, negative 2. From there, I can go up 1 and right 5. 3, 4, 5, and I continue that pattern. Up 1, right 5. Again, up 1, right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that looks like that's all I can fit on this graph, so I connect my points to form the line. Let's try a few more. Can you recognize which form this next equation is in? You're right, slope-intercept form. But we don't have a b value. It's the same thing as writing 4x plus 0. So what that tells me is that my starting point will be at the origin. That b value is 0, 0. My slope is the number 4, which I can write as a fraction over 1, which then tells me I'll be going up 4 and right 1 from the origin. So starting at 0, 0, I go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right 1. And I just continue my pattern. I can also go down 4, left 1. Remember that two negatives, so down 4, left 1, make a positive. So negative over a negative makes a positive, which is the same as my slope, positive 4 over 1. Okay, last example for today. We have point slope form again. So we take our opposite x value, so that would be positive 4, and the opposite y value, positive 1, and we graph our slope, negative 3 over 1. So that means I'll be going down 3 since it's negative, and then right 1 since it's positive. So I graph my starting point, over 4, up 1, and from there I'll go down 3, right 1, down 3, right 1. Or I can go up 3, left 1. And I connect my points to form a line. Okay, that's all for today, guys. If you have any questions, make sure that you write them down on this notes page, or you can send me an email. I'll try and get back to you during my conference whenever I'm available. But in the meantime, your next task is to work on the homework worksheet, Unit 3, Target 5, Homework Worksheet 1. All right, have a great day.